Welcome back to the next tutorial. So in this one I'm going to talk about some issues about Log4j that some students are seeing. So I wanted to make a lecture on that. So if you guys are having that problems with appenders and all those things, just take a quick look and it should resolve your issues. So I'm just going to quickly open the Eclipse, and this is a sample file that I created. It's called using log4j issues.java. So it's pretty much exactly like using log4j.java that I've uploaded in the previous tutorial. So what this class does is I've changed a few things. I changed the base URL to google.com because we don't want to go to Expedia and we don't want to do any actions, right? So I just changed it for quick loading. That's it. And after doing driver.get base URL, I'm just logging some messages, and the messages are still from Expedia sort of things like navigating to flight step and all that. But don't worry, this is just to log some things to our log4j works, but we are not doing any action and we are not concentrating on testing for this lecture. So we'll just concentrate on issues about log4j. So let's quickly try to run this class and see what issues people are facing. So right click, run test-ng test, and boom, it should bring up the browser, and quickly just quit the browser, right? So here you go to the console and scroll up, and people are seeing these things. So this is interesting, right? So this is, what does it say? Let's take a look. These are first of all warnings. So first of all, guys, don't worry about them. These are just the warnings. Nothing's gonna impact your test, so don't worry about these things. It's gonna work fine. Don't worry about the warnings. So what's happening, guys, is you are seeing the warnings like no appenders could be found for logger, and please initialize the log4j system properly, and all those sort of things. So these are like very few things that we wanna notice. So I'm gonna make it normal. So the first thing to keep in mind is there are two things. So log4j.properties file, this file, either it should be placed in the projects folder right away here. So if you see, it's outside all of these folders, right? It's here, log4j.properties folder. So either you should put the file here, or you should put the file in the source folder, or either it should go in the source folder. So these are the only two places you should put the file. So some people will get the warnings when they put the file in the source folder, and some people might get the warnings when they put the file outside of source and inside of the project folder. So this might vary, so but don't worry about them, but these are the only two places. So just to show you guys, let's say if I go to my work workspace, so right here, so here's my properties file, right? If I put it to source folder, let's say I'm moving it to source folder, so right now it's now in source, right? So if I run it now, I actually see weird errors, and so that's what happens. So if I run it, let's say, and here you go, guys. So there are like errors like could not read the configuration file and all those sort of things. So what's happening right now is my Eclipse or my Java is expecting the file to be in the projects folder, and it could not read the file. That's why it's showing the error that it could not read the configuration file, so it could not even find it. So in my case, what I want to do is I want to move it back to my projects folder right here, and I delete it from my source folder. So that's the reason that some of you guys might see it working in the source folder, and some of you might see it working in the projects folder. So I want to come back here and I want to refresh it, and it's showing up right here, right? So it's fine. So that's what happens. So now again, even if I have it in the projects folder, right, still if I run it, you guys were seeing these warnings, right? And we want to get rid of those warnings. So this can happen with a very minimal mistake. So what's happening, guys, is right now we are still seeing these warnings. It can happen because we are initializing the configuration file here. We are loading the file here, and before that some methods are executing and all those sort of things. So if I move this line to the first line, so it's the before class method. So before class method executes once before the class, before any method executes in the class. So if I execute this thing as the first line and I initialize the properties well and save it, and if I try to run this again, so let's clear the console right now, So clear the console, and now let's run the test again. So this time I should not see that. So even though I did not change any location of my log4j.properties file, I'm good, right? I'm not seeing any issues because my log4j is properly initialized at the first location. It is definitely initialized right here, but sometimes because there are few commands which actually already executed before the initialization of the file, they might just throw some warnings. So guys, just do this thing, that put this line in the first place, and uh, also make sure that you have the log4j.properties in one of these locations, right? So either source or either properties. Or let's if you are doing it, let me give you one more example. So let's say I want to move it to the source location. So let's move this file to the source location, and you guys already saw that I had issues when I moved it to the source location. So what you can do is src, this is the source location, right? This is the source folder, src slash and log4j. So what I'm doing right now is I'm giving the full path. So this is the full path, not giving anything before that because this thing starts looking in the project folder. So inside the project folder there is just source folder, so src slash log4j. So if I give this path, it should work just completely and perfectly fine. So if I again run the test and it's running up here, it's gonna quit the browser. So right here there are no issues, right? So even if I put it in the source folder and I mention the complete folder, it should be fine. So guys, either put it in the source folder or put it outside of the source folder again, and in your project folder. These are the only two places where you should be putting these files. So, and you should be good in that case. So that's about it, guys. That's what I want to talk about in this lecture, and I will upload this code file. And there is just one thing to note, that I'm putting this line at the top, so you just take care of this thing, put this line at the top and try to execute this. If you still face the issues, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thanks a lot, guys. Stay tuned for the next lectures. Thanks for watching this one. Thank you.